everybody, welcome back to the shop. Yeah, I'm okay now, man. Gotta take the good with the bad. So I had us laid up with scrap fuselage, ain't the end of the world. But I am taking the day off, dang it. I thought I'd break this Mustang out and see all the rivets. I don't even need HD, man. Just the detail that's in this thing is just amazing. It is a really like a museum quality scale. You know, this would be awesome painted, and for weathering it, man, you just wash it. I'm learning how to weather this stuff. I watched a couple treads on RC Universe on weathering. You wouldn't believe how some of these people do this, man. They get that all painted, you know, they get the whole airplane painted, and then they'll just smear like an acrylic ink on it, and then wash it off, you know, going this way. And man, it fills up all the panel lines and all the rivets, and it leaves some streakage, you know, and it looks awesome. But we're going to learn how to do that. I'm going to do that on Ollie's 105. We're going to do it on the Mustang. Mustang's going to be a while, guys. You know, my bucket is full. Yes, I'm going to paint this thing. And we are going to get this P-51 flying. You know, that's my all-time favorite prop plane. I've had several. And I love the hot rod P-51s. Oh, I'd love to put a turboprop in it, but I have to see if I can score one of them motors. But the really nice thing, remember, I built one of these airplanes before. The really nice thing I like about this airplane is the two-piece wing. You know, all these Mustangs got great big old one-piece wings, and it's like carrying a surfboard around. You know, I like that issue. Another thing I like is how they mount it, because this scoop is always the issue with mounting a Mustang wing. You know, because you can't get the wing on with that scoop. You can't come in from the front because it's too low. You either got to cut that scoop off and glue it on your wing, then you got that big old nasty seam there. But I'll show you how Comparf does it. And it's a pretty cool thing. And I built one of these before, so I've had this airplane flying in 2 weeks, people. If I had all this stuff sitting there, it'd be painted, flying in 2 weeks. Okay, this is how you do it. I don't even have to look in the book for this. When you already built one, you know. Okay? Leave these wings kind of separated. And all this stuff is really lightweight. Leave them kind of separated. And you put it together, and your bolts go right up in there. And that's the back's tight in there because it's kind of wedge deal, and that's how they do it. And pretty cool, actually. But I want to get the stabs on it, and then we'll turn it over. All right. Let's get some tape on the front of that. Yeah, man, blows. You know, we're laying them fuselages up, and you know, we're kind of just going as fast as we can. And someone made a mistake. There's only 2 people here. It's me or Wes, baby. I'm not one to point fingers. I'm just saying doggone it, and then let it know. And it's just about. Someone asked me how much. Well, there's 4 days work, 4 hard days work, and probably $400 or $500. Yeah, carbon and cloth material. It's kind of pricey. Bam! The plane don't weigh nothing right there in that configuration. See, then it's got a Another piece that puts on here for the window. The dash is part of the mold. The stabs, same way. Got tubes in the stab. I'll probably just glue these on. Don't care for removable stabs too much. We'll glue them bad boys on. Oh, that part's a little bit too long too. Cut about half an inch off. There it is. You know, really, a guy could put some color on this. If you could put the color in the right spot, you wouldn't have much painting to do. You know, you could probably leave the silver if you, because the seam ain't bad. If you pick the right paint job, you wouldn't have to do nothing to that silver except shoot some clear on it. You just got a few seams right there where the D-Day stripes go. That seam ain't too bad, but it would have to be sanded. Most of them is silver on the paint jobs I like. Yes, sir. That's a bad boy. I want my batteries going dead. Yeah, I hope I didn't offend anybody when I shut that camera off like that. See, this is set up. All I'd have to do to put a turbo prop on here is cut a hole for that turbine right there. Probably make a rail system. Just cut this off like this. Put me a couple rails in there, and set that turbine right there. A gallon jug. I put a gallon, just regular plastic gallon jug. Fits in the fuselage for the fuel. Oh, this is the perfect plane right here for a turbo prop. It really is. So if you got a turbo prop sitting around in your closet, I know a Mustang that needs it. All them wrinkles, see, that's supposed to be in there. All them. This is like the lithograph jobs. That's what they end up looking like. That's probably how they did this. You know. Then you put your switches, your fuel dots all right here, and just make the top of this cowling come off real easy. You know, a couple latch pins, and this whole cowling comes off, and you don't have no switches or nothing sticking out the side. You know what I mean? But this with even a DA100 would be mean, severely mean. ZDZ be awesome, a little big for an 80. At 80 it'd fly, it wouldn't be a hot rod. ZDZ 160 twin, we're talking serious ponies. This is actually made for an inline twin. See, that's to put a single cylinder on it. The other one I built, we put an 80cc single cylinder, and I had my dad made a prop extension, because if you keep your engine back here, you don't have to cut big old nasty holes in the cow, and if you make a prop extension about that long. Otherwise you got to use standoffs, and then then you got to cut big old holes here for your engine to stick out and your muffler. But on that last one I did, it was a single cylinder, and you know, and we had a prop extension. I put the firewall in it that came with it, and the whole thing was just wobbly, man. I ended up putting a full firewall in it, going all the way around, 3/4 inch plywood. I think the original one was just right here. It was too wobbly, so I made me a template, made a full firewall there, and that really sturdied it all up. But I just wanted to kill some time. I'm taking the day off and let y'all know I'm alright, and I'm gonna make it, and we'll make some more Thunder Chiefs and learn from our mistakes, baby. You gotta mix that resin like it ain't nobody's business. When you think you're done, mix it some more.